to continue the signal across the gap between two adjacent cells, then chemicals are released onto the next cell. And the chemicals may try to stimulate the next cell to continue the signal, or the chemicals might try to stop the next cell from continuing the signal. Those chemicals that will try to stimulate the next cell will be called excitatory neurotransmitters. Those chemicals that try to stop the next cell from sending a signal, from continuing the signal, will be called inhibitory neurotransmitters. Okay? You will have to correlate what is it that happens when a neuron is stimulated, what electrical changes, and what happens when a neuron is inhibited. We're going to consider all of that presently. One other generality I would like to bring to the forefront of your mind. The electrical, what causes the electrical signals are some charged particles called ions of four major types. Within the nerve cell's cytoplasm, also outside of the nerve cell in the extracellular fluid, there are four principal categories of ions, charged particles, that play a role in the electrical part of nerve transmission. They play a role in the electrochemical impulse. That's the signal of a nerve cell. All right. These charged particles, or ions, will, well, three of the four types will be able to cross the membrane of a nerve cell. But because they are charged, they cannot cross where there's a lipid bilayer of the cell membrane, because lipids are neutral, and positive or charged things can't dissolve in or pass through just lipids, okay? And so that explains why these charged particles will have to pass through channels in the membrane that will be made out of proteins. There are two categories of channels. Well, there are two major categories of channels. Channels that stay open are called ungated channels, also called leakage channels, because their particular ions can constantly leak through it because they never close. And so the other major category would be the gated channels that can open and close. Focusing on the gated channels, exactly what causes the channels to open will make the difference between chemically gated channels versus voltage gated channels. All right.